Tonight we turn to a famous actor now making news, fighting to hold on to his most cherished role ever. Far from any movie screen, this is a much different kind of role, the one as father. Jason Patric is fighting for shared custody of his biological son named Gus. But Gus's mother says that was never part of the plan. And tonight, right here on 2020, for the first time, Jason Patric sitting down with us after learning California lawmakers have dealt him a serious setback. A cherished home video of a father and a son. But this famous Hollywood actor is now starring in a real-life drama of his own. You may know him from his other roles, the ones on screen. Jason Patric was one of the young stars of The Lost Boys, later in Sleepers with Brad Pitt and Speed 2. Dating some of the most glamorous women in Hollywood. Came from a famous family. Jackie Gleason was his grandfather. But away from the glare, Jason Patric was working on something else, trying to have a baby with a woman he'd been dating on and off for years, Danielle Schreiber.
I've been in a lot of relationships. I was always worried about having a child. But I was with someone, and I was at a certain age, someone that I trusted and I loved, and so I said, well, we can try this route. But please promise me that the ups and downs that come with it, you're not going to become a crazy person in that situation. I don't want it to affect who we are as a couple.
So you were a little concerned that if we introduce a child into this?
The process more.
But even when they would separate at times, Danielle still wanted a baby, and Jason agreed to help her keep trying. She finally got pregnant through in vitro, but Danielle says there was never any agreement that he'd play the role of father.
Did you say to her at the time, look, I'll help you with this, but I don't want to be the dad?
No.
Would you have ever agreed to in vitro had you known that Danielle would not have wanted you as a father?
Never. The word parent, if you look in the dictionary, means to beget, birth, nourish, or raise a child. And that was my intention.
And then the baby's born.
Baby's born.
A little boy named Gus.
I can't describe it. Anyone who's had a child, I mean, I was afraid to even touch him because he was so small and everything.
That new baby seemed to draw the couple closer again. In Jason's pictures, they looked like a family.
You were at the house every day?
Absolutely, yeah. I play him music. I scratch his back. I help him articulate his fingers, speak Shakespeare into his ear, because I think that he should know that one day.
He showed us the home videos, their time spent together. But that would soon end, and quickly.
It was Father's Day, which also happens to be your birthday.
She gave me a big cake with Gus on it.
And that was the last time you were all together?
Yes.
Because he says soon after that birthday, when he suggested after years of ups and downs that they break up, but continue parenting together, it changed everything.
And 1 week later, I get an email, speak to my attorney. I mean, I could have been knocked off my chair. It just blew me away.
You're convinced she was punishing you?
Oh, without question.
But Danielle Schreiber would argue he was not a dad to her son, and the court ruled in her favor.
And my lawyer said to me, they're saying you're not the father. And I said, what? You're not the father.
Their contention is because you went to that clinic. The law says.
The law says.
You're
the law
a sperm
says
donor.
it, right.
In California, if you're not married and you go to a clinic like Jason Patric did with Schreiber, under the law, you're considered only a sperm donor with no rights as a father.
The two most important words in a child, the two most important visions, ideas are mama and dada. It means safety, support, food, love.
Danielle has also said that Jason never intended to be a father. In fact, she says he insisted that it all be kept a secret in her previous statements to the press.
In the statement, she writes, I allowed Jason to have contact with my son while we were dating, and even then he insisted that I keep his donation a secret and uphold our original agreement.
Show me the document that you have, or email where I say the word secret.
In fact, he points to this document instead, where at that in vitro clinic, he signs his name next to the line, intended parent. But has now learned that doesn't hold up in court. And apparently, neither do these images. Those home videos. Listen to the question Danielle Schreiber asks her little boy.
Which one is Dada? Right there? Uh-huh. Where's Dada? That's right.
And Jason Patric points to a Christmas card written by Danielle.
In her handwriting, Jason, I love you more than anything. What else can I say? You've done everything. Then, for Gus, Dada, thank you for teaching me to pee in the toilet, watch airplanes, learn Beatles songs. I love you, Dada, Gus.
I mean, you point right to that card and say that card proves that even Danielle looked at you as the father.
The whole thing is so absurd, David.
But we asked Jason Patric about one more thing. His name, not on the birth certificate.
So many people have pointed out the birth certificate, though, wondering why your name wasn't put on that birth certificate.
If I can protect him from the bad aspects of my fame that I can, I certainly will. This was my idea of trying, and it worked. For 2 years, there were no pictures of Gus or me. None.
You thought by keeping your name off of the birth certificate
Of course.
that you were protecting Gus from the media glare?
Absolutely. My name's Jason Patric.
But tonight, that glare is on Jason himself, fighting for shared custody of that little boy. Just this week, testifying before California lawmakers, hoping they would change the law, that loophole, he says, that labels him simply a sperm donor and not a dad to Gus.
Sperm donors. A word that was never, ever mentioned in my house. A word I can guarantee you Gus doesn't even know how to pronounce.
But lawmakers put the debate on hold indefinitely.
As we sit here, you know the number of weeks it's been.
26 Sunday.
26 weeks without seeing Gus. No rights to visitation.
What was the last thing you said to him?
The last thing I said to him was, I picked him up, I put him in the car, and we drove back. I had to drive him to Danielle's, and he said, "I'm missing you, Dada." I said, "That's all right. I'm going to see you tomorrow, little man." And I never seen him again.
Can you hear his voice?
No. Not anymore, and it breaks my heart. No. And he has a room in my house, and I don't open the door. But he doesn't know anything. You know, his little furrowed brow wondering where his dad is, he doesn't know that. And he's not a possession.
And do you let yourself go there? I mean, do you ever wonder if you'll see him again?
I'm going to fight till I'm dead to see him. And I'm doing things like this so he knows I've done everything in my power to make sure he is a dada.
What would you say to Gus?
I love you. This is not your fault. I promised you I'm going to do everything I can to see you, little man.
And to Danielle, she's watching?
Why? Why?